Yes, this video is about Adobe acquiring Figma. This was the news that pissed so many designers off just recently. We designers are opinionated bunch. Of course, most of us had something to say about it. If you can just head over to Twitter and take a look. Because Figma created something incredible in the last few years. It created a software that was loved by many designers and even developers. If you are a seasoned designer, then it's very unlikely that Figma was the first or the second design tool that you had to learn. It definitely wasn't my first. If you are in the industry more than 5 years, you likely used another design tool as well. Or maybe you started out using one of the Adobe products like Photoshop or Fireworks. You felt the pain of learning the ins and outs of tools because being proficient in an Adobe product took time, sweat, and blood. You might have even given up learning at some point because it was such a pain. I've been there. But then other tools came along, like Sketch or Affinity Designer and Figma. So why is Figma so special? Figma was a delight to learn compared to Photoshop or Illustrator. Figma provided a stripped-down version of Illustrator. Only the necessary features were in it. You might think, well, we already had Sketch in 2016, so why didn't Sketch reach the same success as Figma? Sketch was a long-loved design tool by many designers, including me as well. Sketch was easy to use, it had a small learning curve, so you could actually master it in just a couple of weeks. However, there was one large issue with it. It was logged to a Mac operating system. It was a closed environment, so Sketch still made designers work in somewhat a silo, because if we didn't use a plugin, for example Craft, and upload all of our designs to InVision, then we were not able to create prototypes, and then nobody was able to see what we were working on. So when Figma came along, it filled numerous gaps and it solved so many issues that we had with Sketch or other design tools. And Figma made collaboration super easy. Suddenly our work was not locked away. We were able to invite developers, product managers, project managers, BAs, stakeholders, clients to our files, and they could leave a comment and then we could reply to their comments. So Figma made async collaboration so easy. And most importantly, regardless of designers' preferred op system, everybody was able to use it. Let's be fair, Adobe made an attempt to accommodate designers wanting to use different operating systems. But somehow, Adobe XD just didn't stick, at least not as much as Figma. Figma created a community. It provided a playground for designers to publish their work for others to see and adapt. Many Sketch users made the shift easily because Figma provided a pretty good file conversion with an easy drag and drop and convert feature. So it was such a breeze. So yes, Figma was special. So about this news, it was a surprise. Or was it? Really? I mean, let's just think about it. We, people, have some kind of internal or external motivation. And if you really think about it, most people are motivated by money. Even though the founders had the best intentions, they must have had an exit strategy. I don't know anyone working at Figma, so I am just guessing here, okay? Because I am someone also who had a business before, and I'm also building a small design business as well. And I do have an exit strategy, which involves money. So we don't really know what the founders wanted. So perhaps this was all part of the plan. We never know. But even if it wasn't, things change. People's priority change. And hands on heart, what would you have done? Would you have said no to 20 billion? Just imagine how many good things you could do with 20 billion. Okay, so this is how I see it. This news actually should serve as a reminder that we shouldn't just stick to one tool and we shouldn't be complacent about our design toolkit. So let's not put our whole design career into one tool. I understand designers have emotions about their preferred tool set, but change is inevitable. Design tools come and go, as we've seen in the last decade or two. So what happens next? It's really hard to tell, right? Because this is so new. If you've been in the tech industry for a while, you know that acquisitions happen. There were acquisitions in the past that turned out just fine. Sometimes after an acquisition, even innovations happen. I find that it's better to be optimistic than pessimistic about the situation, because the acquisition will still happen regardless of our attitude to it. And you know, we are designers, we like to talk about these things and vent about it and why we don't like it or why we love it. So yeah, we are opinionated, yes. This is just something that people will talk about for a couple of days, maybe a week, and then everybody just goes back and do their work. That's my prediction. But my hope for Figma under the Adobe umbrella is that the Figma team can keep doing the work. They can deliver great features for us. They can keep working on their vision and execute the product roadmap that they had. And hopefully Adobe will provide more resources to them. So it could be a good thing. And let's hope that Adobe will listen to Figma users, us designers. Mainly. Of course, there is this love and hate relationship with Adobe. Most designers feel that way because they kind of rule the design software space, because about 50-60% of the design software managed by Adobe now. So that might not be a good thing for the market. So then they could be in a monopoly. So that's never good. So I can see why people are negative about it. But I'm just here to encourage everyone, let's not jump into negative conclusion just yet. Let's trust that Adobe will do things right and won't take our good thing away. After all, Adobe is here to make even more money, so it would be silly to kill Figma. It's in Adobe's best interest to keep Figma good and maintain its popularity. But in the meantime, it never hurts to try out different design software. Thanks for watching, and I see you next time. Bye!